Hey guys, how are you? Listen, at the beginning of this particular episode of the Wisdom to Win podcast, we had some technical glitches there, and Cathy wanted to show and share something with you. Well, even though I've ended the broadcast, this is a bonus piece that I want you to stay tuned towards the end. So I'm putting this piece in now, but make sure that you stay tuned because I'm going to put something at the end that I want to share with you that Cathy wanted you to see. So I appreciate your patience. Hey, I do this raw and organically. I don't have all of the tricks and tools of the trade to make magic. This is just me. This is how we do it. And I thank you for your support. So don't forget, hold on. I got something for you to see. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Wisdom to Win podcast. I am your host, Ray J. Johnson, and today I've got somebody with you. But before I tell you anything about her and who she is, I want you to watch this. We're taking something a little different. Go ahead, my mentor, take it away.
All righty, let me share my screen real quick if I can find it now. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. I it may not work.
Well, I could go into, oh, see, as soon as I'm getting ready to do something different,
Oh man, yep,
you got a
did
little
not work,
technology.
sister. Okay, hold on.
So while you're
All
working on
right, we
that,
might have to stop that.
I'll go ahead and start a
Let me
little
see.
tease about who you are. So, this entrepreneur, who I have had the pleasure of being in association with, is known as the Fairy Gold Mother. She also helps to build wealth through meaningful relationships and biblical principles after successfully managing a three-store jewelry chain. She transitioned into network marketing with a focus on gold and silver investment strategies. This entrepreneur developed her signature icebreaker method for a powerful technique creating unique and authentic connections that lead to financial success. She shares this approach in her upcoming book, Seven Figure Connections Networking to W.E.A.L.T.H. I did that on purpose because it's like an acronym to wealth through biblical principles. When she speaks to audiences, they receive practical strategies blended with spiritual wisdom. She empowers entrepreneurs to build prosperous legacies rooted in genuine relationships, demonstrating that authentic connections provide the foundation for true wealth creation. I present to some and introduce to others, Cathy Guzzo. Welcome to the Wisdom
Thank you, Ray J. Wow, that was
Yes,
a. I appreciate that introduction. Thank you
Dr.
so
Cat.
much. Yes,
Dr.
I
Cat.
think now. Yeah.
Look, I don't know if I want to call you Dr. Kathy or
All right.
Dr. Gold, Fairy Gold Mother, Dr. Fairy Gold Mother Kathy.
All
So
the above. Yeah. Any of that will
one of the
work.
things for Wisdom to Win, we have four different things that we present on in just random fashion. And so we have wealth, health, and your health is your wealth, and your wealth is your health, as well as relationships and personal growth. And so I can kind of see how all four of these pillars fit into today's episode with you. So, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about how you decided to go from creating these wonderful jewels and jewelry into maybe just only gold and silver, but more as an investment strategy? How did you get started with that?
Well, that's a great question, Ray J, because I love the jewelry business. And as you mentioned, I had three stores. I was a single mom named after my son, Michael Anthony. So I love the space. But look, if anybody's ever been in retail, you understand. I
Oh my.
introduce myself as a recovering jeweler, and I say there's life after retail, okay?
Yes.
So it was so challenging, but I loved every minute of it. But when I did decide that that was too confining for me, and I did a going out of business sale,
Okay.
and now I work online. I love this space because it allows me to reach out like to you today in another part of the United States. And we're together on this great podcast sharing information that goes around the world. Now, we didn't have that opportunity when I was in the jewelry business back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, but that's where we sit today. So I much prefer this space. Now, instead of having a geographic area that was, within a circumference of 50 to 100 miles outside my stores, I now have no geographic limitations.
You're
We're all
global.
over the
You're
world.
worldwide.
Yeah, and I love that. And I love the fact that I speak a universal language. I speak gold and silver.
There it is.
I don't have to know the language any of the countries. Gold and silver speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what this is. Holding up a gold eagle, US eagle, and a silver eagle. These are the two most recognized coins in the world, Ray J. And that's one of our specialties is we help people just trade asset classes, trade their paper money, which is declining in value
Yes.
daily. And
Especially
we
the
know that,
US dollar. Yes.
yes, and the US dollar is still the world reserve currency. So all the money in the world is tied to this.
And
And
it's
it's fiat, meaning it's not backed by anything of value. But when we help people trade their paper money for
mm,
real money, God's money, gold and silver, we've really done a great service because this is wealth protection. This is a safe haven asset, especially in difficult economic times. And we know we're in those right now. It's harder for everyone to make ends meet. It's not because you can't balance a budget. It's not because you're not good with numbers. It's not because you don't have any self-discipline. It's
mhm.
because your dollar is purchasing less and less, and you've got to figure out how to live on less and less to have the same lifestyle you did a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. But this holds its purchasing power. As a matter of fact, we've had some phenomenal increases in the last couple of years. So we just love to help people do this. I love the blingy jewelry stuff. And, I created this piece for myself as I did for customers. This is a
Oh,
1 ounce
gorgeous.
solid gold coral necklace. This,
That's
this was the
gorgeous.
one I made. I made gold cufflinks. I made all kind of great jewelry for folks. This is beautiful.
Now, is
But
that one of the gold coins that you have and you created a jewelry piece from it?
back
Oh
in
my
the
goodness.
70s when I was in the jewelry business.
Yes.
Just to let you know, and this is a solid 1 ounce Krugerrand from South
Okay.
Africa.
Oh,
And this is back when gold was less than $200 an ounce. So
mm.
I gave $200 for this Krugerrand and got change back. Now this is worth today $2,980, this metal right here.
Look at now you talk about a ROI, a return on investment.
Right?
Oh my goodness. If
Like,
you had to liquidate that into cash for something, could you do that?
yes, ma'am. And we've got the most amazing platform to do that with the highest buyback price I have ever seen. We've got an opportunity for people to exchange some of this for some of this, and at the click of their mouse to liquidate it back to this, have it transferred to their bank account and pay a bill if they need to. But it's in a
Wow.
store of value of this that goes up in price.
Hmm.
Today, gold is at $2,980.90 an ounce. When I checked just before we went live, that is like an all-time high, almost an all-time high, if not an all-time high. We haven't hit 3,000 an ounce yet, but that's 2,980.
That's close. Yeah.
It's very close.
Yeah.
So
Wow. And
yeah,
so this is something now, with that being said, I've never heard of being able to purchase gold on a budget, like with a relatable budget. Is this something for someone that's at the low end of income, all the way up to the high, or is it just for the 1% people?
that's what I love about what we've got, Ray J, because never before in the history of collecting gold and silver has something been so available to everyone. I was a single mom for 17 years way back. This was something I needed, but it wasn't available.
Mm.
Where you didn't have to have $3,000 to acquire an ounce of gold. You can do this literally with this platform, $1 at a time. So for the first time ever, for the first time ever, there's four asset classes, the gold eagle and the silver eagle. These are the two most recognized coins in the world. And 100-ounce silver bars. This is a 100-ounce silver bar.
Look at that.
It's worth about 4 grand. It's a chunk of metal. Yeah. And 1-ounce gold bars. So in those four asset classes, for the first time ever, Ray J, we have the ability to acquire this a dollar at a time, partial, fractional gold and silver. And what's so amazing about it, you're not penalized because you don't have a bankroll and you can't purchase the whole thing at one time. With this platform, it's a level playing field for anyone to acquire wealth. That's why I love it. The single mom that I was decades ago, she needed it. But
Mhm.
all the way, I'm so glad you asked, because even somebody that's uber successful, very wealthy, they've accumulated a lot of wealth for themselves. This is for them because if they hold their wealth in dollars,
Mhm.
it will diminish in value. But if they transfer some of that wealth into gold and silver, and we have a real simple, easy way to do it, this will hold its value. This has been recognized as money for over 5,000 years. And an ounce of gold will buy today what an ounce of gold bought 10 years ago or 100 years ago. That's what I'm talking about. It's called like wealth insurance or wealth protection.
Mhm.
We know that a dollar will not buy what a dollar bought 10 years ago, 50 years ago.
True.
Yeah, it won't.
Look,
But
just a few months ago, because just a few months ago, before the bird flu hit, okay, we're in March of 2025 for whenever this video sees itself years down the line. We had the bird flu. And as a result, they had to pull eggs off the shelves, and then the demand was so high, but the supply wasn't there. So the price went up. $6 for 12 eggs. Seriously?
unreal. Yeah, I've seen that meme of Fort Knox, and it doesn't have bars of gold and it's got pallets of eggs. I know, I love
And it's
that.
not the golden egg either. With Easter coming, I
Right?
wonder how
It's
many
not the
eggs
goose.
are actually going to be used this year for Easter. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. I have never heard of being able to buy gold on a relatable budget. And I
Yeah,
say relatable, meaning that everybody has a different budget, whatever budget is to you.
right.
And if you can relate to being able to say, you know what, that money that I'm putting aside in savings,
Oh,
instead of doing it in cash, I can do it in silver or gold, and it's going to appreciate in value versus depreciate. Like you go out and get a $400,000 Maybach if you want to. As soon as it's off the lot, it's not 400,000 anymore as far
right.
as value is concerned. And it's going to go down continuously. I don't care if it's a high-end vehicle, you're not going to get what you paid for it. But with this, like you said, the value from 100 years ago is the same. It is the same. This the richest man in Babylon had this.
Oh yeah, chariots of gold.
Oh my gosh.
Flatware. Your flatware was made of gold.
Your
Okay.
flatware was made of gold and even silver, right? So silver is also a part of this. It's not just gold, but it's also silver. And is now that bar that you have, let's say that I was able to get all those bars, that's heavy. Where am I keeping this? How am I protecting and keeping this safe and not worried about it being stolen?
I'm glad you asked because that is a concern for a lot of people. Now, not everybody has one of these on site. It's my weapon of choice. Here's my paperweight. But what's so cool about what we have here that we're sharing, you have the ability to store in those four asset classes that we just talked about, Ray J, the gold eagle, the silver eagle, the 100-ounce silver bar, the 1-ounce gold bar. You can store in those four asset classes in a military grade vault with a class 3 security system. I was class 1 when I had my jewelry stores. Mine was massive.
Mm,
I had a really big store downtown, and I had two others. But class 3 is like Fort Knox, and this is
mm,
a military grade vault. And two, your metal is 100% insured by the company that insures the largest coin grading company in the world when it's in this vault. And it's in the United States. I've been to the vault. I've seen it. It's first class, top notch. This is a company that's been around for, they're in their eighth year, A plus rated, Better Business Bureau, cross their T's, dot their I's, pass all the scrutiny of the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, pass all the scrutiny of the FTC. They have done their homework. They have given us an ability to store our metal in a private military grade vault, meaning it's out of the banking system.
Mm.
It is privately held, and that is between you and this exclusive membership that is invitation only.
Wow.
Yeah, so you don't have to have it on you and feel compromised in any way, like if somebody could break in on you or bother you for it. It's stored there. But here's the neat thing. If you do need part of it or
Mm-hmm.
all of it, if you have all of it, let's say you purchased that 100-ounce bar, you can click your mouse and say, ship this to me, and then it will be shipped to your doorstep, FedEx Express, insured to you. And we're in 32 countries right now. So we can ship this to any one of the 32 countries if you're traveling, if you want to. But let's say this is about $4,000 and you only need maybe 1,000. Let's say you maybe need 2,000. The car broke down, the washer and dryer have gone out, you need a couple grand.
All the
You
time.
go in, right? That happened just recently. It's called life. We know about that.
Right.
Yeah, so this is good for emergencies. So let's say you need a couple grand of this. You can pull off of this reserve that you've got, liquidate a couple $1,000s of your metal value, have it sent to your bank account, and be able to pay your bill with it. And leave this in there partially purchased and continue to pay on
And
it.
then
And
just continue to add back to it.
yes, and it's still in the store of value of a
Mm-hmm.
gold bar or a silver bar or a gold eagle or a silver eagle. So,
And you're not penalized at all?
no, you're not. So what's neat is when you own this ounce of gold, let's say you own this ounce of gold, it's 3,000.
Okay.
Gold goes up to 4,000. You still own an ounce of gold, so it's worth 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
So you own this ounce of silver, let's say it's worth $40. That's just a rough estimate for right now. Silver goes to $100 an ounce. Your ounce of gold is worth $100, not the 40 that you had in it. So
Wow.
you will always have the amount of silver or the amount of gold that you had in the storage in the wallet.
Mm-hmm.
It will go up and down with the market. And right now it's going up because it the dollar and metal tend to have an inverse relationship. So as this declines, this will go up. This
Oh,
is how they've typically worked together.
yeah, I can see that. I can see
Power.
that.
Yeah,
Look, if
typically.
you are sitting here, and my podcast is really dedicated to divorced women over 50 who have found themselves in this situation after decades of marriage. So you being a single mom before, you can appreciate what that means because when you're divorced, don't you become a single parent?
Yeah, you do. And you got to tunnel out, and there are no deep pockets behind you. You're it.
Exactly.
Oh, I get it.
Exactly. And I mean, if you got to sell something,
Yes.
to make ends meet, wouldn't you have a better peace of mind to have something set aside for those children? Because this is legacy. So, with me saying that, is there a way to leave this behind for your children, your family, or whoever you deem family or loved one once you're gone? Or how does this work? Does it just go back to the company, or what happens with this money, with this gold, I should say, or silver?
Well, it is 100% yours to do with as you please, Reggie. So in this private vault, and there's a wallet that you would have. Now you would list your beneficiaries. And
Oh,
if anything were to happen, your wealth would go to your beneficiaries. And then you could make that designation on how you want that handled. So it is 100% a willable, sellable asset that you would pass down generation to generation. And two, with what we have with this membership, we have a referral program. We're an asset referral business. So you can refer this membership to other people and actually earn points and get paid as well. And with that, you would get a tracking center you could actually build an organization and share this. And it can pay you very handsomely. And actually, Ray J, that tracking center is a willable, sellable asset as well. you could hand that down to the next generation. They could have your whole
Oh,
downline of people that you shared this with.
really?
Yes. So you have several generational blessings with this business as well.
Oh my gosh. So you start this business and can literally like with a brick and mortar, like your jewelry store named after your son, you could really pass that on. And it's solid. It still is what it is, and you can just keep going with this. Oh my goodness.
Because the product has been around for 5,000 years. It's not going anywhere, Ray J. This will be here. Gold and silver will be here when we're playing in the heavenlies on a pavement of gold. Okay. So this will still be here and this will still be God's money. And
Hmm.
there's a limited amount of it. And goodness knows, if you think about what it's done just in my lifetime from 1978 at less than $200 to today at almost 3,000, just think what it'll do in the next generation and the next
Wow.
generation.
It
So if
kind of
we
makes
have
me
the ability to acquire this,
what you saying to, the ability to acquire that, what you saying that makes me think about how Google. Blockbuster back in the day. All those places got started in somebody's bedroom, basement,
yeah,
garage, somewhere, right? And they had no idea what was
right.
going to happen. And they maybe had a small investment. Let's just say $1,000, okay, investment. Now it's worth millions, hundreds of millions. And they had no idea. I was researching some things, and back in the day, they used to have this thing called the Franklin Mint. Is this similar to that, or is it better than that?
Oh, well, Franklin Mint is just a company that mints some coins, and sometimes those coins
Oh,
aren't always pure. Sometimes they're clad, which means they have a layer of gold and silver. We don't deal in any of that, Ray J. We only deal in the pure metal. So when you
okay,
see this gold coin, it is solid through and through. This is one
okay,
ounce of gold.
okay.
When you see this one, this is solid silver, 1 ounce of silver. There, I don't have any in front of me, but there are commemorative coins that look pretty. There's a
Hmm.
layer of gold finish, and the inside is a base metal. And but they're done in some kind of design. So sometimes the Franklin Mint, you'll see that it's a gold clad coin. When you see the word clad,
Oh,
that means
okay.
it's just a layering of metal. Okay.
Okay.
So
And see,
that's
I
not
think
pure.
having the
We have
understanding of
some,
the terminology really does help, because some of us that, are babies of the 60s and grew up seeing some of these advertisements and commercials didn't understand. So it wasn't that they were trying to get one over on you, but the terminology really explained what it was you were getting. We just didn't understand it. We hear gold and that's all we hear, right? But gold
you know,
clad is different and solid gold. Okay.
yes. So I'm glad you made that distinction because I forget sometimes, having been raised in the jewelry business, but that's what makes this so different is we have a training platform in this membership as well, Ray J, where it's a buyer certification and a collector certification. So anyone can get the knowledge and wisdom that they need to make good buying decisions for them and their family, and they will know and recognize value in the marketplace. So we want to educate. This is first and foremost an education platform because we know the more you know, the better decisions you're going to make for you and your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one of those things about the clad. Bullion. Bullion is a broth that's done in the flavors of soup, but it's
Right.
also a word that means pure metal. It's only sold for its weight. Somebody said, "What exactly is bullion? That's not a broth." Well, it can be two things. Just like Fiat is not an Italian car, only it's also a term used for the paper money when it's not backed by anything of value and it only is worth what the government says it's worth. So
Because that
that is
that
also a
that stopped,
fiat.
the dollar, the US dollar was backed by gold until the
Yeah.
Richard Nixon era of presidency. And I don't
Yes,
know
ma'am. You
why
got
that
it.
particular
1971.
70
Yeah.
something. I was a kid, but I hear,
1971. Ray J,
okay,
if you remember,
I was a kid
do you
though,
remember the
but
Bonanza show?
yes, yes.
It was a commercial on the Bonanza show Richard Nixon comes on a commercial on Bonanza and makes the announcement that we're going off the gold standard. I
Okay,
remember the
see,
Bonanza
I
show.
couldn't remember how I related that to him in that way, knowing I was
Yeah.
just a kid, because I was born in 64.
Yeah.
Okay, but I remember
Okay.
seeing that and hearing that. And I remember he was one of our presidents. But I was like, what does that mean? I mean, I was a kid, I didn't know what it meant. I started hearing more and more about it as I start coming in touch with people like you that are in the financial industry and the wealth growth industry. And so I was like, let me look a little bit more into this. Why did he do that? And so I know that everybody kind of relates stuff to the US dollar. One thing, I have a lot of people in the UK that are friends of mine, literally, seriously, they are friends of mine. And when they're doing something and they say the British pound, I have learned what the conversion is in the US dollar. And we have to pay twice as much for something that they have. So something that might be like, let's just say $47 is about $60 for us. And I'm like, why? Then you go to another country and the dollar is not worth double. It's less than that. It's crazy. But gold is here today and here tomorrow, as it always has been, along with silver. Um, I'm loving this. So, what is it that the people need to do if they want to learn a little bit more about this, how to get in touch? Is there an information session that people could get in on? How do they learn about this?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I do a wealth strategy presentation. I do that tonight. I don't know when this is airing. So, but anyway, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central, joincathy.com. I do a wealth strategy overview. And we just want you, you heard about this on Ray J's channel here, and we want you to share. Ray J is going to share her link with you on how you can actually get started if this is of interest to you. But if you want some more information, I encourage you to hop on joincathy.com at 8 p.m. Central Thursday night. Tonight, we'll do that on it's March 13th right now.
Mhm.
So, and if you're on a Thursday night, we invite you to hop on. Usually that's what's happening. It's been going on for 4 years. So if you're watching this 4 years from now, you might just find us on that channel. That's what we've been doing. And Ray J is going to share her link here with you because she also loves this platform and she's starting to acquire gold and silver for herself. And she would love to share it with her community because, this is just too good to keep to yourself, right? So
It really,
I love
really
what
is.
we have.
Yeah, it really is, because in this day and age, I know that people are looking for better and they're looking for next, but they're very conservative in making these choices with their hard-earned money. And I
Mm.
even had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I said, when you borrow against your 401k, it's usually for a good reason. How about if you look at it in a different way? Borrow against your 401k to invest it so that your money is no longer unemployed, but it is employed because it's working for you. And
Mic
then you
drop.
can put that money back. So that's why I'm like, sell something, collect some cans, crush it down, earn, whatever you can. And you said even at $1. I mean, get together with your family maybe and
Mm.
a group of friends. I talked to a group of friends over a year ago about, hey guys, let's put our money together and get us some coins or something, some gold, some silver, so that we can just split it up and divvy it up so we can start, having some wealth creation for real, for real. I'm
Brilliant.
tired of the rhetoric. I want some action behind the words. And you have introduced that to me. I've been wanting to do this for years. And I'm so happy with meeting you through our friend Alethea Allen, shout out. And so, it has been over the past few hours. I mean, like 24 hours of all of this knowledge that I've been seeking for years. And it's so simple. Cathy, I'm just floored, and I want all of my listeners and my viewers to just take a try. Just do a go see, as I call it.
I love
Go
it.
and see what we're talking about every Thursday evening, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, and just check it out. Just get the information. That way you can make a fully informed decision on whether or not this is the right time. But I'm going to tell you, this is the right time. As a matter of fact, last year was the right time. So we're late. So come on in here with me now. Better late than never. Too late is when you're in the grave. And I would love to be able to leave a legacy of benefits and not bills. And I'm
Mhm.
sure you would too.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to ask you, if this was a master class, Cathy, what would you entitle this class?
Ooh, building wealth God's way.
Building wealth is God's way.
Yes.
There it is. I don't think I need to say anything else, but I love you to life and on purpose. And we'll see you on the other side in the
Oh,
next episode of Wisdom to Win. And let's win together. Bye for now.
bye.
Increasing expenses have caused us all a lot of pressure these days, and it's affecting even the wealthiest of people. Most have lost their sense of security, stability, and even hope for a strong financial future. The game plan of everyone in your cell phone has likely been disrupted or even hardcore stopped, and most are looking for a creative solution to regain financial momentum. Oftentimes, life's best solutions are the simplest. But first, a question. What is something most people think they should own but don't? Crypto, fine art, real estate? Nope. We are talking about real money. The kind kings and queens fought for and large institutions today buy in mass. We're talking about gold and silver, assets that provide confidence in tough financial situations. So the question is, do you own any? If you don't, you're not alone. Most people aren't maximizing the power of precious metals because it's just been too complicated. And even though they see advertisements about gold and silver daily, they don't really know who to trust. That is, until now. The bottom line is that buying gold and silver doesn't have to be complicated or scary. There's a simple, better way to accumulate assets and create financial peace, headache free. And this very minute, a new community of average people are seeing above average results to the tune of tens of millions in assets over the last few years. This system is tested, it's simple, and it's not an experiment. To date, it's helped more than 80,000 people bring hope back into their lives. It's invitation only. And right now, this new community has accepted a challenge to give away as much free gold this year as possible. Curious? Learn how to get your free gold today. Check out the next step to get the details.
And we're stopping. Okay, guys. So I did that because I wanted to introduce to you someone who I just know you're going to be fascinated by. Stay tuned.